Good afternoon and welcome to another Market Minute. I'm Eric Odom from Net Lease Commercial Advisory, and this is the second part of two parts of a discussion on the light rail initiative and the 1 penny tax. I keep saying light rail initiative. It's really not light rail initiative, but
it's a 1 cent investment.
It's a 1 cent investment, and it's more than light rail. But we have with us Brian Willis again. He's an attorney with Becker and Poliakoff, and also on the Citizens Advisory Board for T-BARTA, to talk with us today a little bit about some of the questions and concerns of the I keep saying light rail initiative, of the investment taxes.
Yeah, investment tax.
Penny
tax.
investment. Okay, terrific. So the penny investment tax, penny investment initiative is going to be on the November ballot, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so we talked in the first component about why we need to have it. What are some of the things that are going on with the plan, and why do we need it? I mean, this is obviously the first and foremost question. People say, "Hey, I have my car, I drive to work. What do I really need this thing for?"
Well, we talked a little bit last time about the growth that's projected for this area and how we're already having trouble meeting the demand with the capacity of our roads as it is. We continue to grow, which there was a slowdown with the economy, but now we're seeing population growth again. We're running out of capacity on our roads. So we need this. Our transportation is the key to moving people around. And when we look at comparable cities, for instance, the amount of time that people in Tampa spend in traffic delays is significantly more than what people in our competitor cities do. I mean, so if you look at some place like Charlotte, Tampa has consistently, almost double the traffic delays every year that what people commuting in Charlotte do.
But it's going to end up making us the highest tax county in the state of Florida. So is it really worth to make that investment if we know we're going to end up having these taxes?
Yeah, and then there's a number of issues there. I mean, the one thing is taxes, that people get focused on taxes, but people continue to move to New York City. They continue to move to places that have high taxes because they have high quality infrastructure. And I think that's what the question, really should focus on is this worth doing? What's the value we get from this? More importantly, when you look outside Florida, when you look at comparable Sunbelt cities, it's not going to be our tax will still be comparable, if not lower, than competing Sunbelt cities outside the state of Florida. So I think what people want is they want value. They want valuable infrastructure, and the tax is not going to place us outside the range of what other competitive cities.
Okay, so Charlotte and Atlanta, you're telling me that they are still going to be in higher tax than...
They have over 8% sales tax.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what would we be
we would be right at 8%.
Right at 8%.
So
okay.
we'd be competitive, if not lower, than other Sunbelt cities. And some of those other Sunbelt cities and states have income taxes as well, which we don't have here.
I think the initial rail is running to the airport. Is that the plan first?
Yeah, the initial plan is that it would run from the airport to downtown, including the West Shore area. They would also cover, the second part would be downtown up to USF, and eventually Cross Creek area up Brisbee Downs.
So two rails, and really people running between downtown Tampa and USF, that's a fraction of the transportation routes that are being run by car every day. So, these people that say they're not going to use it, I mean, it's legitimate, right? I mean,
well, there's clearly going to be some people who aren't going to use it. I mean, first off, 43%, Hart's done a study of this, and 43% of traffic takes place within the corridor that's roughly going to be served by this light rail. So every day, even if not every person is going to use this, you're either taking people off the roads within the corridors people are traveling, or you're giving them an alternative, means of transportation within that corridor. Mm-hmm. And I think that's, as I said, you're getting people off the roads for people that don't use this. So it's not just whether you're a user of the light rail or not, but it's also helping ensure that our congestion doesn't continue to build up and slow everybody down.
Well, okay, I hear you, but let's say I live in Brandon. I'm not going near that downtown Tampa to airport course. So, I mean, what's in it for me? I mean, what's the deal with people? How are people in Brandon, why would they care about this? Or people in the northeast part of the county?
Yeah. Well, a portion of it, we're focused on light rail, as we've talked about, but a portion of that tax is going to go to fund road improvements throughout the county. It's also going to go to fund bus system that's going to serve a bigger area, a bigger portion of the county. I think the third thing to keep in mind is when you look at other cities that, people always say, I know people in Lutz and Brandon, and they say, well, I don't want more roads in my neighborhood. I don't want more traffic. And what we're building here, which is a transit system which serves the entire Tampa Bay region, is about ensuring that we don't have more roads. It's about ensuring that we don't just continue to overbuild in our suburbs. So I think a vote for this is a vote to help preserve the character of places like Lutz and Brandon.
Gotcha. Okay. I mean, from a road perspective, Brandon, are they really going to see roads out of this? I mean, is Brandon really going to see, they're going to vote for a penny tax, they're really going to see road development?
There are projects across the county to fix different problems that have developed, and you can actually go, HART has a website that they've developed where you can go neighborhood by neighborhood and find out what exactly is going to come to your portion of the neighborhood from this investment.
That's on the HART website?
You go to HART, and they have a special project page, which is called the HART Alternatives Analysis page. And you can type that in Google, HART, H-A-R-T, you'll get to the page and find that.
Terrific. This thing's going to cost a lot of money. I mean, it seems to me like it's really high. So let's talk about that and whether this makes sense or not.
Yeah, I think people don't realize how much money we're spending on our road system. I mean, we've had some projects that haven't been that controversial, like the I-4 crosstown connector, which everybody thinks is worth what we're investing in it. That project's been priced out at $350 million to complete it.
Okay, so the crosstown connector, which is like a mile of road.
It's a mile of road.
It takes you, I guess, from the port of Tampa to I-4.
It's very bad. It's a great project. It's going to get a lot of road traffic out of Ybor. It's going to make Ybor more amicable to neighborhood development. It's going to connect the crosstown and I-4 so that all those trucks from the port don't have to go through Ybor neighborhoods.
What is the rail going to cost? Let's say the rail that's going to run from downtown Tampa to the airport, what is that going to cost?
Well, they've got a couple different alternatives that they're considering, but you're looking at roughly a $500 to $600 million price range for that portion of the rail. Another example, which is the north portion of that segment, which would connect downtown to USF. That portion is coming in right under $1 billion, about $900 million. Well, the alternative to do that, if we don't build up rail capacity, we're going to have to increase the capacity of the road. So we go from what's an 8-lane road now to a 12-lane road. They've priced out that project and it's going to cost $2.2 billion. So for the same length of rail traffic, we're less than half the price of what it would take to increase road capacity.
So to increase 275, you're at $2.2 billion. To build the rail, you're at $900 million?
That's about right, yeah.
When you ask people around Hillsborough County, you hear this very frequently. This is going to be a situation that we're going to be funding forever. And so what do you say about that?
Yeah, and I hear that all the time. I mean, that's what people always say. They say, well, we don't want to build this if it's not going to produce any income back. There was an editorial in the Tampa Tribune saying, well, they're only going to get 8 or 9% of their revenue from the fare boxes. Well, I drove here from Clearwater today. I didn't pay anything. There was no tolls on my way here. So they didn't get any fare box revenue on my trip. I-275, Del Mabry, Kennedy, the Howard Franklin bridges, they don't pay for themselves. The other part of that is that, if we look at what we've built with the rail system, people who've studied the numbers, AAA, Forbes magazine, say that you're looking at about $12,000 per household per year that gets devoted solely to car expenditures. So it's an incredibly expensive system that pushes...
Car expenditures mean insurance on your car,
insurance,
gasoline, okay.
Payments, gasoline, maintenance, new tires, oil changes, everything that looks into getting you where you need to go on your car. And that cost is extraordinary. It's pushed off to the individual users. So sales tax is going to cost the average household about $125 a year. It's about 1% of what the household is spending on their car budget right now.
Okay. Well, thanks again, Brian. I do appreciate your time. And again, if you're interested, you can find out more from the HART website and the Moving Tampa Forward.
Moving Hillsborough Forward.
Moving Hillsborough Forward, the website. So thanks again for joining us. And if more information, can they contact you, or are you at Becker and Poliakoff?
I'm at Becker and Poliakoff. They can contact me. Our office is in Clearwater, and we serve the whole Tampa Bay region. You can look for us on Google, Becker and Poliakoff.
Terrific. Thank you, Brian.